everyone, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk. Thank you for joining me. Today's project is this Christmas parcel card, which has a hidden secret, because when you pull the tag at the top, out slide two more Christmas parcels. Now, you could quite easily tuck a little gift card in here, or you could tuck a little message, or you could just leave it as it is. It's a nice little cute little novelty card. Quite straightforward to make. You do need to be a little bit careful with the measurements, but stick with me and I'll show you how I made it. I've got 3 pieces of cardstock which I've cut and scored ahead of time, and I've got 2 that are Pool Party and 1 that is Real Red. You could have 3 the same, you could have all 3 different. It's entirely personal choice. In my case, I wanted 2 and 1, so that's the way I've gone. And I've cut them to 6 inches by 2 3/4, and I've scored at 1/2 inch and 3 1/4 inches from the left hand side. And this one is 8 1/2 by 3 1/4, and I've scored at 1/2 inch and 4 1/2 inches. And the largest one is 11 inches by 3 1/2, and I've scored it at 1/2 inch and 5 3/4. Don't worry too much about the measurements, because they will all be on my blog, and there will be a direct link to the project in the more information box underneath this video. Okay, so don't worry all about that. So I'm going to start work on my largest piece of card, and I've marked it. Now, I've marked it in pen so that you can see what I'm doing. You wouldn't need to do this, you could use pencil. To be honest, it's going to be on the inside, nobody's going to see it, so if it makes it easier for you to do it in pen, go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've marked 1/2 inch from the top and 1/2 inch from the bottom, and when the card is closed, it's going to be 5 1/4 inches that way. So 5 1/4 inches divided by 2 is 2 3/8 of an inch. So I've measured in from the right hand edge, and I've drawn a vertical line at 2 3/8 of an inch. All right, you with me so far? Good. Right, so this is the fiddly bit. Got my stamping trimmer, and I've 3, 2, 1. Right, now this is the fiddly bit, and if you prefer to do this with a craft knife and a ruler, that's entirely up to you, because what you have to do now is you have to cut a narrow slit in this piece of card. So I've marked my line, and what I want to do is to cut just either side of it. So normally I would be placing my ruled line right in the middle of the runner there, but I want to cut just either side of it. So I've lined it up so that my line, my thick line, is off to one side, and it's level with the guide, it's level with the plastic guide. I don't know if I can show you, but if I move that, normally it would be, I would be centered in between the 2 edges of the plastic guide, but I'm pushing it over to one side. So I'm putting my cutting blade down so that it's level with that line that I just drew, and I'm going to draw all the way to the top and let go. And as you can see, I've cut just off to the side of that. So now I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to line it up with the other side of the guide. Hope you can see that. And same thing again, I'm going to put my blade down, and I'm going to just take it up as far as the top line. And what I've cut, you see, I've cut a little slit. Let me bring my scissors in, and I'm going to chop that out of the way. And that is what my runner is going to go into. Now, I've done the same on the Real Red card, but not on the top piece. Okay, so I'll show you what we do with the top piece in a minute. Now I've got a big piece, a middle-sized piece, and a little piece, and I'm going to set the big piece aside for just a moment, because I'm going to be working on the little piece and the middle-sized piece. So I'm going to flip them over and make sure I've got them pointing in the same direction. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've got a 1-inch circle punch here, and I'm just going to cut. I've marked the centre of the middle piece, and I'm just going to cut a little finger hole out of that. Just before I start, before I forget. So on the, make sure I've got them pointing in the same way right now. I've marked my 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom of this piece, and I've got a 1/16 of an inch hole punch. You could do this with a pokey tool, and I'm just eyeballing that into the middle there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this piece, just underneath that slot, because what I'm going to put through there are a couple of brads. Ready to start assembling the card now. So I've gone ahead and I've put my tear and tape on the edge of the card ready, and I've got a mini brad, and I've also cut myself a 1/2 inch circle of real red card, and I've punched a 1/16 of an inch circle in the middle. Can you see that? Can you see that that is in fact a hole? And the reason why I've done that is because these brads are so fine that if I don't give them some kind of collar or washer or whatever you want to call it, they will just fall straight through the slit in the card. Now, if I make the slit any narrower, it makes it difficult for the card to slide in and out. So the best way of doing it is to put a little washer, a little collar on my brad. If you're using big chunky brads that you get from stationers, then you probably won't need to do that. Right, okay, so I've got that turned over, and I'm just going to poke my edges out. I'm not going to push it down too tight. I'm just going to give it a little bit of room because I want that action to move up and down, and it does. Okay, can you see that? Okay, so that's the top layer. So I'm going to bring back in my bottom layer, my biggest layer, and the on this one I haven't cut any holes at all. Let's put this the right way around. And same thing again, I've got another washer to go onto the card, but this one's Pool Party. Again, you've got a little hole in the middle. So I'm going to poke my mini brad through so it looks like a little teeny tiny wheel, and that goes through there, and that goes through the hole which I cut on the other card. Now, probably easier if you close all of these up first, but you know, let's live dangerously. Okay. So now you've got the 3 layers of the card, and that closes around that, which closes around that, and we're going to have a visitation from the cat, and they all slide one inside the other. I want to make this card look like a pile of parcels piled up underneath the Christmas tree with all sorts of exciting, wonderful Christmassy things in. So for the 3, 2, 1, I want to make these cards, this 3, 2, 1. I want to make this card look like a pile of parcels underneath the Christmas tree with all exciting, wonderful gifts in them. So I've got myself some pieces of Home for Christmas DSP, and I've made them into parcels. And this one is 2.5 inches by 3 inches. And I've wrapped some of our 1/8 of an inch gold taffeta ribbon around it. I've just stuck it on the back with ordinary sticky tape. And that one's going to be on my top layer. But before I do put that one on, I want to show you how I've actually what I've actually done with the cards for the ones that the bits that have got the notches out of them, because I want them to look nice. So again, this is another piece of the DSP that I'm going to be using, and I'm lining that up where I want it to be when the card is finished. I'm turning it over, I'm holding onto it all the time, and I'm coming back in with the same 1/8 of an 1 inch circle punch 1/8 of an inch. That's way too big, and I'm just snipping out that bit. Right, so now I'm going to put some of our real red 1/4 inch cotton ribbon onto this to make this look like a parcel. I've just got ordinary common or garden sticky tape, which doesn't want to play. The cat, however, does, and she's just off. She's just off screen, and I've got a little tray that I've got all my bits and pieces in, and there's a finger dauber in there, and she's trying to get it out, and that is not going to work for me. So I'm not going to mess around any longer. I'm just going to get a bit of tearing tape, because this won't be seen, doesn't matter. And I'm going to position that. This is the top. I didn't want my little deer standing on the reds, and I'm positioning this nearer to the top than to the bottom, because the bottom part of it will be covered. Okay, and I've got another piece, and I'm wrapping that around the middle. She's now given up on the idea of getting the finger dauber out of the box, and she's having a wash. So she may decide to come and play. Maybe she won't. But, okay. Right. So I'm going to put that on one side for a moment. And that piece was 3 inches by 3 3/4 of an inch, I think. But again, check my blog, because I will put all the correct measurements on there, because I'm a bit distracted by the cat at the moment. I don't quite know what she's going to do. Okay, so I'm going to apply this to the card, and I'm going to use tearing tape just because it's handy. I decided I wanted a little helper on the top of the card there, so I've cut myself a 1-inch circle of pool party card, and I've just stuck it to the inside of the card, can you see, with a bit of tearing tape. And I'm going to use that to stick a big gold bow on, so that the idea is that it looks as though that bow belongs to that that parcel. So for this, I think I'm going to use some glue dots. I've got a new packet of glue dots, and I'm going to be quite generous with them, because I want this to stick on, and I want to stick it on well. And now that I've started using this gold glitter ribbon, I can't stop using it on everything. It'll be on the cat next. So there we go, and that sits down there. Shoo, talking of cats, come on, Shoo. There we go. And that now pours out. So a couple more bits of decoration and we'll be finished. So this is a piece of very vanilla card, which I've stamped on in real red with one of the stamps from this set, which is a little something, and it says a little something for you, because you could, if you wanted to, put a gift card on the inside of this. And I've got the glue dots out, so I'll stick this on with a glue dot. Come here, come on. There we go. And while I was at it, I also cut some candy canes. So I put a candy cane on this card. And we do have a die cut set. It's with our, oh, can't think of the name of it, square pillow box, that's it, that will cut these, but I just fussy cut them out. I just got my scissors and I chopped them out because they're not that tricky. And shall I have one there as well? What do you think? Yeah, no, see, why not? More is more. There we go. And there it is. So here's the final card. There it is, all folded up so that it'll fit into an envelope. And when you pull it out, you could put a surprise in there. You could tuck a gift card underneath there. That would be very nice. I did go back and put some extra glue dots underneath the candy canes to make sure that they didn't catch on the layer beneath when the card was being folded up. And I'm not sure whether or not I remembered to say, but I punched this out with the note tag punch. If you want the measurements, if you want to know more about the materials I've used, or indeed if you want to know more about me, then please do visit my blog. There will be a direct link underneath this video, so please do visit there. Please do, if you've enjoyed this video, consider giving me the old thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And if you've liked the video, please think about subscribing to my channel. But that's it for now, so I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.